Hey,
What's up, Ray?
what you doing, Tim?
I
Looking
was
for something, man? Did
I
you
turning the lights on,
had fast gas? Was it fast gas down there?
sitting here, without the lights on, trying to save energy.
There you go. You do. That's good. You're a good environmentalist. There
I
you go.
try. 45 seconds left. So yeah, fast gas. Got to
Yeah.
make it happen.
Look at that. They got them the whole lineup
Oh,
of the
I got to
Apex bees.
refresh this because we're looking at all zeros here.
Yeah,
I've
that's
had this
that's
open all day.
that's a refresh.
Let's see what you're competing with. Here we go.
Oh,
Octob 939. Bubba at 923. Robo B.
Robbie.
Robbie 902. Seeds at 889. And the
Yes.
crown
The crown.
1144.
Nice. I
There it
like
is.
Bubba. Bubba looks good. I like his little bowler cap. That looks cool.
Bowler hat on the mushrooms
Yeah. Bowler mushrooms.
and the genie empowerment.
2 seconds. There we
Here
go.
we go.
That's it.
939, 923, 902, 889, and 1144. I
Mm,
think that's flat.
that's a there you go.
Nobody's trying to fast gas anybody on this one.
What fast gas in the Apex bees? There you go. That's nice.
And then we do have the Tonto face. I always love those Tonto face.
Tonto face pumpkin.
Yeah.
That's a unique one there. I'm starting
And
to
this,
like
this is
the
a good
little
looking one.
blue ape. What was it? Bonzi. Bonzi.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm gonna open that one up just because.
What's a good looking one? Hey, he's a
Yeah,
party
he's got the lucky beers in his hat. Some
diamond
fancy grill
and the Bonzi body.
and the
That's
E
nice.
thighs.
ETH. A lot of things Ethan Bitcoin doing a little thing today.
I think I read that.
They're pumping a
Heard of
little
that.
bit. It's got a little. It's up past. You know, they had the Death Cross, the Golden Cross. They had all these things. I love watching the trading stuff. It's fun. You know,
Yes.
it is really neat though how they it does touch those lines, those trending lines, and all that. That is true. But yeah, I don't really do the trading. Too much stress, Tim.
Yes.
It's very stressful.
And then we're looking here, 6,080,000 for that bee honey. Let me see if I refresh it. Maybe it'll go up.
There you go.
Nope.
It's all right.
Not 6,080, 6,080,000, and then 1.142 on the Queen's tax vault, and then burned 1.243 million.
Yeah, that's
burned.
nice. That is.
Very,
And
very nice.
that's what we're going to touch on too a little bit today. I got Wednesday, and we're going to talk about our own DAO, and then just a little bit, talking about that Queen Tax Vault, our DAO itself, and how it kind of operates and things like that. And then I know you got news, so and then we talked about Rihanna. I got a little bit something on that to follow up. Yeah.
All right. Well, I got one before you
All right.
have at it. This is a fun one because I've this caught my eye because El Salvador is opening a Bitcoin embassy in Texas.
What?
Yes.
Look at that.
A new link between the Central American nation and Texas has been born out of Bitcoin.
I might have to move to Texas, man.
It's in the front running now. After opening its first Bitcoin embassy in Lugano, Switzerland, El Salvador opening a second one in Texas.
Wow.
Which, I often joke with our friend Austin that, Texas is in Central America.
Yeah, well, it is its own country, Texas.
Well, they like to think of themselves as their own country, and then I joke that Texas is in the central part of America, so it makes it a Central America. It's a common thing for El Salvador to go for Texas.
Texas is the only state that is allowed to fly its flag the same height as the U.S. Man, it's true.
I believe you. Only in Texas. Only in Texas. According to a tweet from El Salvador's ambassador in the United States, Melania Mayorga, a meeting took place between her, other representatives from El Salvador, and the Deputy Secretary of the Government of Texas, Joe Esparza. And they discussed the opening of a second Bitcoin embassy and the expansion of commercial and economic exchange projects. Also noting that in 2022, El Salvador and the state of Texas had commercial exchange of, I believe that's $1,244,636,983.
Wow.
So that's pretty good.
Yeah,
That's some nice
strong number.
exchanging going on there.
That is.
So just to wrap that up right there. Since then, the country's made moves to create the first Bitcoin-backed sovereign debt bonds as well as hosting successful conference in its home and many projects entirely powered by Bitcoin. And just as the establishment of the Swiss embassy, it was a step forward for El Salvador, and meeting between the country's ambassador and representatives for the government of Texas, another milestone in the adoption of Bitcoin.
Wow. I
Very
wonder if
cool.
there's like a dual citizenship. Okay, if you're a Texas citizen, do you get some El Salvador citizenship? That'd be great.
El Salvador, maybe the El Salvadorans don't have to, they can fly in rather than run through the border
Yeah,
over
that
there
may
in
be.
Texas.
Well, if you're holding Bitcoin, they got to check your wallet.
That's right. They're going to the embassy. They need. They have not amnesty. What are they looking for?
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. No, that's
Terrible.
good, man. That's cool to see.
But yeah, that is a good one. Opening adoption is happening.
Yeah, I love it, man.
Asylum. That was the word I was
Asylum.
looking
Yeah,
for.
they're
Yeah.
looking. Yeah, that's right.
For asylum for their Bitcoin. They got to go to the embassy in Texas.
That's right. Good to see you, Steve. Happy Wednesday to you. Hello, hello. Yes, appreciate you. Thank you, thank you. Josh, appreciate you, man. Will, no, thank you, man. Good to see you, Cheesehead Will. Donna Night Owl, happy Wednesday to you. Hey, how did everybody do? What happened last night? I kind of made it to the last table, but that was it.
Yeah. Well,
And
I
to
went
that
out
girl.
early, but yeah, FOMO head didn't make it very far there. I think FOMO made it to like fourth.
Okay, well, that's not bad.
And then
Fourth,
he bailed and I jumped off as well.
right?
So
Okay. Well,
I do not know
congratulations,
the final winner.
everybody playing last night. Thank you, thank you. Appreciate it. M2 Hat Girl, how are you? Good to see you. Happy Wednesday to you. Absolutely. KP Queen, good evening. Apex Bees, yes, they're moving. Sup, Jason. I know you were on there last night. He's bidding. He was getting some good hands.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good. But yeah, no, man, a lot of news. Just I was going to follow up with the one we touched on with the Rihanna and the music one, where you kind of have a share of her music. Yeah, OpenSea booted them, so I'm gonna go and touch on that, and then we'll go over to look at our DAO and Bee Honey tokens, how that's a utility, governance, and that token has a lot of use cases, right? And
I'll tell you since you brought up Rihanna and the Super Bowl thing, is that those musicians do not get paid to play in the Super Bowl.
No,
they get zero fee.
What?
They do get I think it's like a $50 million budget for their show.
Oh,
Obviously, that's why they have the floating platforms and things like that. So they get a budget, but they do not get paid to be there. But all of the people that have performed have had huge bumps in sales of their albums and everything else like that. So
it's a great marketing piece, Tim.
Yeah, I think what's his name? Justin Timberlake's sales went up 540% after he was did the Super Bowl and stuff like that. It was absolutely crazy.
Janet Jackson, that's when she fell off. Janet Jackson, when she her sales dropped off.
But the sales of nipple rings went up.
Oh, who? Oh, yeah. It's crazy. But yes, you can't beat that kind of platform. I mean, my goodness,
Yeah.
A lot of people
watching. They say there's no such thing as bad publicity. That is some good. It's like a 15-minute commercial, right?
Yes.
So if they're paying $7 million for 30 seconds, she gets a 15-minute commercial in the middle of the Super Bowl. So it's got to equate to something.
Yeah, I know. Crazy. Well, let me do my hair.
What do you got? So that's now sponsored. I think I forget the number, but I read Apple Music paid for the next 5 years to sponsor the halftime show. So, Rihanna stuff is obviously on Apple Music. So Apple Music is looking to capitalize on those people making the sales on there.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. This is OpenSea is actually taking down the NFTs that were Rihanna's music, right? Where and I'm gonna kind of just touch on what they were saying. With OpenSea said sales were halted because it went against the marketplace's terms of service and it appearing to promise fractional ownership and future profit based on that ownership. So, it's kind of wild, right? But that's it's something that we just talked about before, and I'm going to touch it, but we opened up the web with the website Blur, and
Yeah.
I'll show you what I mean by that. It's kind of funny, that that's why we do the news, man. That's the number one trending token in CoinGecko right now. So I'm just, like I said, I'm just, it's neat to see because obviously, because OpenSea booted them, now they're going to have to just use this marketplace, and it's on Blur, right?
Yeah.
So there you go. You see why some of this stuff happens. OpenSea boots them, and now you go over here, and I'm going to go over now. I didn't really do it, but you go over to CoinGecko, and yeah, look at everything is kind of pumping. Look at these things.
Mm-hmm.
But you go, and there it is, Blur, number one. When you just see when you don't type in there, you just click into the search, it's giving you the top ones, right? So I
Right.
click on Blur, and it's up 41% today, 24 hours.
Ooh,
So
nice.
kind of crazy. Just saying. That's why is they just got removed from OpenSea. I don't know how that works. I mean, it kind of sounds crazy to me that this is why is that it's appearing to promise fractional ownership. I think that's down here. Let me see if I can find a little bit. There's later where they're like, well, there's other ones that say that as well, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that can't be the only one. So, that's just weird. I guess, it's a kind of a good old boys game too. That's why a lot of this centralized stuff needs to kind of go away, man.
Right.
But I get it too. I understand OpenSea. I mean, if there's, that's what, you're talking about the SEC and all that stuff. You start getting into securities and investments, and now they're kind of looking out for themselves with that too. So who knows, man? It just thought it caught my attention because we talked about it, and there's old Blur up 41%. We just mentioned them just a couple of days ago. So wild, man.
Right.
Market is crazy though. Look at that. I mean, I'm just saying, go down here. Look at just Bitcoin and ETH up just around 10%, both of them. It's
Yep.
crazy. Bitcoin is really pumping.
Looking good. Looking good.
All that FUD didn't affect it, man. Um,
Fud.
this is it. I'm going to go jump over to our docs, but the main thing I wanted to go over today is that Bee Honey was minted for fair distribution. We have, and
Mm-hmm.
I think we've talked about what that means. Nobody from the marketing team, no devs got anything, no founders got anything. That's what a fair distribution is. So it was minted for that, and it was created for governance, farming, and utility. There's three different things that Bee Honey is really meant for. And if I go over here, let me see. Yeah, SBU Bee Honey. And that's kind of unique again with tokens. Usually tokens are going to focus on one of the one of those three. And there's some other things too. I know that like we were just talking about with music, there's all kinds of other things that would be, I guess, considered utility as well. But there's no central organization owns or controls Bee Honey,
Right.
right? It isn't. It's just on the ETH. It's a smart contract on ETH, right? That's literally what it is. All the Bee Honey currently in circulation was acquired via fair distribution, right? Purchased from a Uniswap V2 Bee Honey liquidity pool. That liquidity pool is, like I said, is on Ethereum. Fair distribution also means that there were no tokens set aside for founders, insiders, VCs, advisors, or influencers. And again, another thing that's unique, there is not many cryptocurrencies that do that. A lot of the stuff too is you see the airdrops. It was never done that with those either. Unique again about us, and we had fun. I think it was like 6-8 months ago
Yep.
on the show, burning it. We were burning billions of it there, Tim. That's another thing you don't see, and that's in the paper in this docs too. The entire available supply was placed into the initial curve, and again, that's similar, obviously, to another token that we love is M2. At least I
Right.
do. I'm all about it. Bee Honey will be widely used throughout the SBU DAO token system, and this is what we're going to talk about. I.e. voting, farming, auction, honeypots, Bee Honey transaction tax, and treasury and more. So this DAO is there's a lot of operations that this Bee Honey will be all about, right? Where
Mm-hmm.
we're going to be using it, and that's like I said, that's what I wanted to go over, and I just made this here because it's very difficult. I've talked about this when we started anyway with DeFi, and this is just a funny meme talking about decentralized finance and yield
Right.
farming. So this is just a guy whispering in the girl's ear And he said, yeah, so I put your ETH into Compound, and just like Uniswap, Balancer.
Right.
I'm just saying, as collateral, and then borrow USDT. Then you use an Etherscan to lend some USDT back so you can farm comp. Then you can take some USDT and put it back on Balancer to farm Balancer. Then you tokenize your BTC and add it to the curve. Then you take the curve LP tokens and add them to synthetics so you can farm curve, Balancer, synthetics, and Ren, right? that's that's literally what we're. But these curves, Bouncer, Sin, Ren,
Right.
that was Wafu, all the different things that we were doing. So I did all that just to kind of talk about how simplified it is right now, right? That is what your NFT, your B is doing. All of this right here in a smart contract, but you're going to yield out the bee honey, right? That is farming.
Hmm.
That's literally the definition of farming, right? When you see this stuff, because when you look at how does yield farming work, right? It is super complicated, very complicated. It's like talking to that girl on the dance floor and trying to explain, oh, what do you do for a living? Oh yeah, well I do that. All that crazy ridiculousness,
Right.
right? Well, you don't have to do that. You don't have to explain all that because that B will be starting May 11th. Will be doing all of that, and it's currently doing it now. It's just not, it's not May 11th as the date that you start visually seeing it, right? In the hive, in all that stuff, where you could actually fly your bee in and collect those rewards. But literally, that's farming, right? And that's one of the utilities or why bee honey has value is because it is being farmed out through the bees, right? That's literally one of its value proposition. It is, right? Another thing is and I just pulled this up because you can see again, there's many types of farming: liquidity provider, lending, borrowing, staking, all kinds of different things.
Right.
But we have simplified it, and all of that is built in to the bee. And again, I'm going to touch on too the queens, royal queens, how it's in their best interest to do even more and really get this ecosystem rocking and rolling. But the other thing, and that I mentioned over here, right, is governance. That's another reason why Bee Honey will have and needs and has value is because it's a governance token to a DAO, right? It's one way it's being farmed through bees with NFTs. Another use is that it's a governance token to a DAO. And again, that's even kind of looking forward. There could be different things from 4 or 5 years from now, right? I know everybody looks at the when you can do the 1B 1 vote and
Yep.
take part of the DAO and do all that stuff. Well, there's ways that we can maybe vote on something on how we can use Bee Honey, the token itself, more in the governance, not just 1B 1 vote, right? There could be some way where we use tokens and be a part of it that way. Maybe there's fractional voting, right? Maybe you had 100 Bee Honey tokens that could give you a fractional vote of like of a part like of a bee, right? So
Right.
I'm just kind of telling you and talking about how our DAO and how this cool system right here when you go to the DAO how it could work, right? When you do create a proposal, right? It might be something like I said 4 years from now where we actually propose where the actual bee honey has different functions, right, or different things with governance. But that is again, it's just neat of how all of this stuff kind of works. So governance tokens act as a foundation to establish decentralized governance in a DAO, DeFi projects, and DApps, right? Users who have made significant contributions to the community or have demonstrated loyalty or frequently awarded governance tokens. That's another thing. There are a lot of people that work hard, a lot of people that do a lot of things in here. And that's another thing is these tokens, right, with or Bee Honey, not only value, but also, give more of a significance where there's voting and there's more, and it's not meant in like a more power type play, like where you're using,
Right.
that way. It's great. So that's important because there are a lot of people that are currently doing things now, and especially within the next year or two, you're really going to start seeing a lot of people in this ecosystem and taking apart, being part of the DAO. So each project has its own set of governance token rules, and again, we can start setting forth setting forth what that means, what that is. The main thing is that most of it's all set up now, going into the future. That's just where we can make adjustments of what the token does more, what it does here, NFTs, just even the yielding from that. So, like I said, it's just it's cool because all of that the development is built and set out, and now we just kind of look and see how this system or what this crypto space looks like in a couple years, and then we kind of make adjustments from there. And that's like I said, it's pretty cool to see where it's all going. Right. The other thing I wanted to touch on too is not let me get off of here is the thing with the queens, right, and the
Mm-hmm.
queen tax. Down here it says will be available to claim once the collection reached 38,000. That sounds like a big number, right? And it is.
Right.
It's a big number. But do you know how awesome it is that the queens, right? And I know everybody thinks, oh yeah, I wish I, and we do. Anybody that has one, great NFT to hold, right?
Right.
There, there are great differences between worker bees, apex bees, queens, royal queens. But do you know, I mean, how hard and how hard, these queens will be working to get this 38,000 ETH to that number for secondary sales for OpenSea.
Right.
That's why, anybody who has a bee, a worker bee, anybody who owns an Apex, anything, you would want to root and support anything that these queens or the royal queens that are trying to do, because they're going to get this to it. Because I mean, if anybody understands, you hit that number, this ecosystem is rocking and rolling, man. I
Right.
mean, number one, bee honey is not at a $1.50 or wherever it is now, $1.60. That's not where it's at when it's trading at 38,000 secondary sales on OpenSea. Really, when it's starting to do that and it's really motoring, there is great things. This ecosystem is really humming along, and the bees themselves are yielding out a pretty substantial reward. I'm not going to talk about numbers, but you're happy, right?
Right.
So just in general with all this stuff, these NFTs are different, right? Queen's tax, even how the smart code that is written into it. I was just showing you, how DeFi works over here and how complicated all of this is over here, and with this a guy whispering to this girl's ear. But just bees, worker bees and queens, there is different, you would say obviously yield farming, different smart contracts, different coding into that queen. And there's a reason, because these royal queens are going to be doing as much as possible to get this ecosystem to that secondary sales on OpenSea for
Right.
38,000, right? So, like I said, it's really cool how the whole thing is about teamwork, right? Everybody's trying to work and get all of this because it is on us. It truly is. That's what this whole kind of deal is about. It's not a hype. It's not of a, hey, let's go to the moon just because we said it. Not all of this, any of this fake stuff. There's a purpose and there's a reason for all of this, and why it's built this way is because yes, these queens will again everybody will start to kind of see what all that looks like. But their goal is that, right, and to do
Right.
that, we got to get obviously a lot of people involved. You got to get a lot of that not hype like in the crappy scammy kind, but people knowing what's really going on over here, right? When May 11th happens, can everybody start to do the math and understand, even if the numbers, like if Bee Honey stayed where it is right now, that's where you're starting to look and see when you see this secondary sales on OpenSea, and where it kind of pushed up to almost zero point 0.9, I think, just a few days ago, right? And
Mm-hmm.
now bots go and do their thing, and it buys at the top, and then it kind of lists, and it's just trying to make those little percentages. But man, it's crazy because just I think it was I don't know, 6 months ago, this was only at 400 500 ETH, right?
Oh
So
yeah.
I mean, even too, what does it got? I think it's 10,000 ETH, right? Is it 10,000 ETH for the
To open up the empowerment.
empowerment piece? That's correct, right?
Right.
And that's what I mean. A lot of this, people don't even look at that. right? You are buying something right here, 0.68, right? Is the bottom one chicken wing with the robot body, but you're really getting two, right? That's a great price. So
Yeah.
you look at it, you still get, and you always go up one, right? You go up one, and that's if you see what I'm doing, I just hit the number up here. That's what it is in the URL. I just hit the 7, and now you are literally getting a second bee, and that bee also has bee honey. And May 11th, that bee also yields bee honey. So people will start really understanding, seeing what this looks like and what this project really is once it starts kind of doing its DeFi mechanics, right? When that starts happening, right now people don't really they don't see that. And
Well,
they
some people are just add that my crypto adventure says quantum circular economics.
yes, that's
And
right.
so does D-Ray from Next Level Fishing. We'll just whisper quantum circular economics in their ear next time.
That's right. That's right. And
And
that's what you're right. We can say it because it's literally all up in this thing. And the other cool thing is just the disperse, because I didn't really get into it, but this was talking about just DAOs and the style of work. What's cool, and I do, I can't see right now. Like I said, it's my whole website, but my crypto adventures, she's on the other side of the world, man.
mhm,
Right? There are people dispersed all over this world, and we're all working for the same goal. And that's why these DAOs, this way, the structure that we're kind of just rolling out now, it's going to be what the future and all this stuff looks like. I mean, I can guarantee it almost, right? Because
mhm,
it's talking about down here, Gen Z, millennials, man, they do not work in this, and that's nothing against them, right? I'm just saying they don't work in this type of environment, right? A lot of people are getting a little frustrated with just how jobs are, right? No one,
right,
back then, a little while, companies would kind of care about your employers, right? And you'd be there for 20, 30 years. Not saying it's all like that, but there's a lot of things changing, man. People don't stay at a job for 20, 30 years anymore, right? I mean, I've never heard of it really, but except for but the see, older folks, that are kind of finishing up now. But with millennials and Gen Z, they need a cause. They like their thing. It's not just about compensation and work. Their thing is also, it has to be fulfilling, right? They want something that they're doing that's really going to do or impact the world, environment. That's also a big driving force for them. And
right,
it's neat when you're starting to talk about DAOs. And I mean, we touched on this before, many shows on, you're going to be able to work for a lot of different ones, and you're going to really be able to do what you're passionate about. Like, if it is the environment, you can do the stuff like with Jimmy that you see on Twitter. If it is something like, maybe it's just technology and you love AI, there's going to be some AI DAOs and all that stuff, but you're going to be really able to do what you love to do. And you might be working for 4 or 5, maybe 10 different DAOs, right? But like for me, this will
mhm,
always be my main DAO, my core DAO, right? My first love DAO, right? But you're going to be able to kind of get out and spread your wings and do a lot of things that you have passion and you really care about, and that also makes a huge difference. Not only again, compensation wise, but it's fulfilling, and it's just something that kind of people really work harder for.
right.
Obviously, it's just that's how it works, right? You still there?
Absolutely. I'm
Okay.
agreeing.
All right. I can't
You're
say.
on a roll. I don't want to slow you down.
Okay. Yeah. But finding the middle ground in the doubt, a new work style is emerging. Um, that is a binary between salaried employees for a company and freelance work. That's what I was just saying, and
Mhm,
it's pulling both advantages, right? Both for employers and employees. That is a great thing because you're streamlining, even if you're a company, you're streamlining their work, right? They don't need to work and you paying them for 8-10 hours a day. If they're doing 2 hours of work, there's 2 hours of work, right?
yep.
So, down here, that's what it's talking about. Where, how could it be also good, for business? You might think that anything that makes employees happy must be a sacrifice for businesses. But studies have shown, obviously, absolutely, a happy workforce can lead to greater productivity and performance for companies overall. Another one down here, another boon for the business is the distributed nature of DAOs. It means that workforce can, and that's what I just brought up with my
Mhm.
crypto adventures. It could come from anywhere in the world, and it's not just cities, as might with the case with a lot of companies. The centralized headquarters are in New York, and they're only getting maybe around that 30-mile area.
Right.
This is getting and harnessing diversity of employees from all over the world, and it just helps spawn, like it says, groupthink and just a whole different type of ideas on how you can better be streamlined and work make profits, right?
Yep. You mentioned, the centralized areas of where people are working. Having the real estate background, the average move used to be under 15 miles when you moved. The average move was less than 15 miles.
Hmm.
After COVID happened in the last couple of years and remote working and all this kind of stuff, the average move has jumped up to 50 miles.
Huh.
50 miles. So now people
Wow.
working remotely, they're like, okay, well, if we're expanding that, circle and whatever, I don't have to go into the office so many times a week, then I can move farther away. So the average
Yeah.
move moved up to 50 miles.
Wow. That's
So,
a
we're going global, and even just for that reason, I mean, people are going to do remote work and be able to work on whatever they want through DAO corporation type organizations like this.
that's right. No, I mean, absolutely, man. It's just
Yeah, very cool.
it is neat. Just saying, like it was just one piece on our, our DAO that the Bee Honey token is super cool. Cryptocurrency that has a lot of different use cases. And like, the D Ray was saying, and my crypto adventures, quantum circular economics, and it is, just because we do make up, because it's all new thing, right? We make up and have new words, like we're all inventing
Yeah,
different things over here. That it's true, right? This Bee Honey, it builds upon itself, right? The more we do, more we get involved, more we get people to see what the NFTs and our bees are doing, all this different stuff. It all kind of just is like a synergy to this whole ecosystem. And like I said, just because if you don't have a queen, root for the queens, help the queens, do whatever they are doing, amplify what the queens are doing. If they're tweeting something, amplify that. Do
right.
that thing. Same thing on the YouTube. All of this is where people are getting some information, and they're going to come and take a look. Also, too, it's funny. We've been doing this for 2 years. When all this starts rocking and rolling, people are going to come back and watch these older shows, and it is funny because it's all a part of why people, they'll just feel more comfortable. We're like, wow,
Yeah,
these people have been here for almost 2.5 years now, and just building, just keep doing, keep working, keep plugging along. That shows a lot, right? I mean,
yeah,
there's a lot more to it than all, and even too during this whole crypto whatever crash, FUD, the scammers and FTX and Celsius, all of that. We still are here. There's nothing. There's no, no. Discord still got people not doing all kinds of different
we're
things.
growing. We're
We are.
growing.
It is growing. It's like I said. It's cool to see, and people will. They're gonna come back and fold back through and check out this whole stuff. And like, man, the whole time they've been building DeFi, right? They've been doing DeFi. It's
Yeah,
literally what the whole thing is. It's a financial project that's going to be looking and to use that treasury to grow it even more. Quantum circular economics. It is. We're gonna find some good stuff, man, because it's all just beginning. I know we say a
yeah,
lot, but it really is, man. But it does look like we're coming out of this winter there, Tim. Seriously, man.
yeah.
When you watch those charts and all that stuff that is doing, we pop through some things. If it gets past, and I'm just saying, what I would, like I said, been watching. When you watch these these guys who track this stuff, if it gets anything past like 25, I think it's like 25,100, you're breaking a major, a major trend line,
Threshold.
right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. No, I mean, how long can a winter last? They've even overanalyzed how many blue dots there were before it starts to go green again, and all that kind of stuff. and then red is just catapulting up. But yeah, watching those are fun. But we're hodlers. We're long term, you know, enthusiasts that are not, of course, giving out financial advice. But this is interesting stuff, and we're going to be able to do a lot of things with the Dow growing like it is. I mean, 6 million bee honey at $1.50. That's closer to 14 million bucks, right?
Yeah, it's nice. Yes.
So when we start gaining the attraction of some of these big corporations who need partners, who need people to spread the word, who need organizations to get things going, they're going to look at the BDAO, the
Yeah.
SBU DAO, and look at our organization who's been through thick and thin of what's going on in the crypto market. We stayed strong, so that makes us very attractive.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's
and
gonna be
uh,
fun,
and the
man.
whole system that we built is going to be you know hard to beat.
Yeah. No, and it is. It's why I say it's just pretty fortuitous and just blessed that this thing is built. That's why I joked several times now, Tim,
Hmm.
about Vitalik's mother.
Yeah, yeah,
She's building a DAO, right? And she's still building a DAO. When her son is one of the head developers for Ethereum,
yep,
and again, that's not a dig against him at all, right? It's just
right,
saying that there's work, and she wants to do it right, decentralized, not leaning on him, things like that. But yeah, how crazy it is that we have this thing that is built, and it's ready to kind of roll out, and people really see what's under the hood.
absolutely.
It's crazy, man. Yeah. So thank you, Cheesehead Will. I appreciate it. Yep. No, thank you. It's nice of you, man. And it's good stuff. Thanks, Josh. And yes, the queens will be well compensated. They will. They will.
Yes,
But that's what's cool is there's work to do. The work, and they will. That's obviously you have to use that driving force. We want it. We want to get the 38,000 ETH. So we
absolutely.
will. We will. We will. We will. Will. Yes. But I also too, I didn't know you want to say, I think next week. Well, I don't think next week I'm going to be on vacation. I'm hanging out with the fam, and we're going to go do some goofy stuff, man.
Excellent. Well, things are rolling along, so maybe we'll just take a break and you know make it happen, and then we'll come back stronger than ever.
Yeah, man.
But we'll
Absolutely.
see. I'll be here tomorrow night, and you'll be here tomorrow night. We'll play some poker and
Yeah.
have some fun tomorrow night. Maybe we'll twist FOMO's arm and see if we can all make it to the final table. That would be fun, and then we'll take it from there. All
Yeah,
right.
man. I'll bring back a pictures. And so like I'm gonna go visit NASA, man. So I didn't
All
work at
right.
NASA. I'll show you some of my jets, man, that we used to work on. Fun stuff, Tim. They won't take
Sounds
me up
good.
in it, but yeah.
You need a little clearance.
F one
You
hundred
got to
fours, man. F one
you
hundred
got to
four.
bring your Tang with you.
Yeah, I should show one of the things. It's like I said, it's funny. They sound like crazy. They're very very weird, unique planes, jets. So old
Very
school, man.
cool.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
looking forward to hearing about it.
Right, toe, man. Sounds good.
All right, bud. Very
All right.
good. I
Yeah.
will. We'll see you tomorrow night. We'll play some
Yeah.
poker.
Thank you. Good to
Good
see
night,
you.
everybody.
Thanks, everybody.